Tonight, the latest on Donald Trump's trip to Vietnam.
And later, news about a missing Alabama girl.
Plus, slavery concerns in Ghana. Hello and welcome to MCTV's weekly news update. I'm Jillian McCarthy.
And I'm Caroline Fiske. Here are tonight's top stories.
President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un's meeting on Thursday was unsuccessful. The two failed to bridge a standoff about disarming a global nuclear threat. The president said there was a proposed agreement that was ready to be signed. However, the meeting was stalled as Kim Jong-un demanded that all sanctions be lifted in exchange for concessions on Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program. In a press conference, President Trump said, quote, "We had some options. At this time, we decided not to do any of those options. We'll see where that goes." The meeting ended with a handshake, and the respective teams look forward to meeting in the future.
On Saturday, March 2nd, a missing 11-year-old girl from Alabama named Amberly Barnett was found dead. Barnett was last seen on Friday, March 1st around 6 p.m. in Mount Vernon. The police found her body the next morning at 6:30 a.m. at an undisclosed location. The cause of her death is still unknown as the police are digging into this investigation. The search for Barnett began immediately after the police received the call at 7 p.m. on Friday night. This news was shocking to the people of Mount Vernon because of how uncommon this kind of news is. However, the police are doing everything that they can to get all of the answers for Barnett's family and loved ones.
New York may want their shot at Amazon headquarters after all. Initially, Long Island City was one of the two locations chosen for the new Amazon headquarters, along with Arlington, Virginia. This would have involved economic growth and job creation, according to New York City Governor Andrew Cuomo. But after major protests from residents of Long Island City and its surrounding Queens area, the deal was rejected. Now, politicians and corporate officials have written an open letter trying to change CEO of Amazon Jeff Bezos' mind and reconsider Long Island City for its headquarters once more. We will keep you updated on Jeff Bezos' response and whether or not New York will be the new home to this billion-dollar business.
Recently, Samsung has released the Galaxy S10, and it's very different from its previous models. The front-facing camera is now built into the screen display, and an additional lens has also been added. The phones can also wirelessly charge accessories such as smartwatches and earbuds. The phone even comes in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. This may sound like top-notch technology now, but the Galaxy company is not done yet. Get ready for a foldable phone. Coming soon.
Spring break is around the corner, but it seems like winter will never end. Jack Sullivan is here to tell us the latest on the weather.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's High and Lows Report. I'm Jack Sullivan. This past weekend, we have continued into the dreadful winter, and we've experienced some snow temporarily. Thankfully, the snow managed to melt away from either the 40-degree weather or the showers of rain that we've been having. As we've had a closer look on this week's forecast, we will have to experience some temperature drops this week. Wind will also be a possibility as well, as this most likely is the source of the temperature drop. I would wish we would have warmer weather as we are now in March, but unfortunately, spring is not coming just yet. Our first story comes from Iceland, as a Texas grandmother was posing with an iceberg thrown, then started drifting out to sea. This was devastating to her family as they witnessed the event right in front of their eyes. Fortunately, the iceberg along with the 77-year-old Judith Strang were light enough to float amongst the water. The family was fortunate enough for the circumstances not to get any worse or drifting into the sea for a while before rescuers came to her aid. God bless that event. This next photo shows how a big mistake on the job can turn into someone saving someone's life. In California, a woman trapped in her car by the excessive amount of snow was piled onto her car. A snowplow accidentally hit the car as she thought it was a giant pile of snow in the middle of the road. While investigating the damage, she noticed cries for help, and police were able to dig out an unidentified 48-year-old woman out of the wreckage. This is another catastrophic event that occurred this winter that fortunately does have a happy ending. Now, focusing on weather in our neck of the woods, for today's weather we will reach a high of 37 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 10 degrees Fahrenheit, slightly above the average of 30 and 18 degrees. Today's sunrise will be at 6:24 a.m. and the sunset was at 5:30 p.m. Tonight we're looking at partially cloudy skies with a low of 11 degrees and a 0% chance of precipitation with winds south at 7 miles per hour. Looking ahead for tomorrow, we're seeing a 0% chance of precipitation with a high degree of 31 and winds at 8 miles per hour. Now taking a look at the 7-day forecast, do expect partially cloudy or sunny skies during the weekdays and showers as we head into the Sunday along with the next week. The highest temperature will range around the low to mid 40s and the lowest temperatures will be around the high 10s. Be advised, especially past dark, that the temperatures this winter will be extremely cold at this. So stay warm and stay safe, people. Well, that concludes our weather report for this week. I'm Jack Sullivan. Thank you.
Over 20,000 children have been enslaved on Ghana's Lake Volta. The slaves come from different towns and villages and were purchased by the same fishermen as his slaves. Most of the children are sold by parents who are extremely poor. They are sold for approximately $250, the same price as a cow. The slaves are used to support a fishing industry. Every morning, the slaves remove fishing nets from the lake and recast the nets in the afternoon. Children are used because they can dive under the water to untangle fish nets easier than adults. They also take up less room in a boat and are easier to physically dominate.
Oprah Winfrey suffered a large financial hit recently as her Weight Watchers stock nosedived into trading. Reports indicated that the stock was down $39 to $48 million. The price sank to $22 per share, compared to back in June when it sold for $103 per share. Weight Watchers chief executive Mindy Grossman blames the loss on their failed winter advertising efforts. The former talk show host, who has been public about her own personal weight loss struggles, owns 5 million shares in Weight Watchers, according to CNBC. However, Winfrey's investment in the company signifies only a fraction of her estimated $2.5 billion net worth.
This past weekend was not only senior night for the men's and women's basketball team, but it was also the last time director of the music department, Arthur Art Himmelberger, directed the band during one of their games. After developing and growing the music program since 1936, Art has decided to retire from his position at the end of this year. To support him in his last time conducting the band at a basketball game, over 70 alumni from the music department came back to play their instruments in his direction once more. Although Art will be retiring, he will always be at the heart of the Marist music program and all it accomplishes.
The Mary McDowell Friends School in Brooklyn Heights is under investigation for racism. They are the third elite private school in New York City. After an offensive video was published through that school, students and staff protested against the school's racism as well as their sexism. The protesters were sick and tired of white students getting away with everything and black students feeling unsafe. One student, who chose to remain anonymous, witnessed a white student call a black student the N-word in gym class on February 8th. The student said that no one reacted until them and their friends said something. Mary McDowell Friends School is now working towards dealing with their school's racial issues instead of sweeping them under the rug.
From the Boston Celtics and the Eastern Conference to the latest on the Marist baseball team, Ben Pierce has got it all covered in this week's Sports Report.
Hi everyone, I'm Ben Pierce with this week's Sports Report. In the NBA, one of the league's most historic franchises has been struggling majorly of late. Amidst what has already been a disappointing season overall, the Boston Celtics have lost 7 out of their last 10 games and are on the verge of losing as many games as they lost all last season. They are currently the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. With the addition of Gordon Hayward and re-addition of all-star point guard Kyrie Irving at the beginning of the year, pundits predicted a dominant season for the C's, but that has not been the case. Because of these struggles, the speculation around if Irving will re-sign with Boston as a free agent this summer continues to grow. Today is the final day of the NFL Combine, where many college stars justified their draft hype by putting their physical skills on display. One of the biggest stories of the draft and Combine overall is Ole Miss wide receiver DK Metcalf. Metcalf's collegiate season was cut short due to a dangerous neck injury he was able to recover from. However, he still put up impressive stats while he was on the field. He's been trending recently because of a viral photo of him that demonstrates his size and strength, which appears unprecedented at the wide receiver position. At the Combine, he ran an unexpected 4.33-second 40-yard dash, and his draft stock is continuing to rise. Some mock drafts have him going as high as the second overall pick come late April. The MLB's top free agent, Bryce Harper, chose his new team this past Thursday. The six-time All-Star signed a 13-year, $330 million deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies were one of Harper's top teams, along with the Yankees, Padres, and White Sox. This deal breaks the record total for guaranteed money in a contract, surpassing when Giancarlo Stanton got $325 million from the Miami Marlins in 2014. Harper elected to change his jersey number from 34 to 3, honoring the late Roy Halladay. Harper made it clear his long-term goal is to win titles for Philadelphia and continue his successful career. The question now is what other stars could potentially join Harper in Philly to help them become legitimate contenders for the World Series. Despite having an improved season compared to last year, Marist men's basketball finished the regular season with 4 consecutive losses. In their season finale on Sunday, they faced Rider, one of the more talented teams in the MAC Conference. Marist controlled the game for the first 15 minutes. However, they were never able to pull away and create a comfortable lead. Rider went on a late run and outscored Marist 41-26 overall in the second half. Marist was unfortunately unable to win in band director Art Himmelberger's final game, but hopefully they can find momentum for Thursday when they face St. Peter's in the first round of the MAC playoff tournament. The Marist baseball team has had a streaky start to their season and currently have a 4-5 record. After starting 0-3 due to a series sweep by William & Mary, the team was able to rip off 4 straight victories over a 6-day span that lasted up until this past Saturday. They ripped off 3 of those wins against Presbyterian College and the final against Delaware State. It is worth noting that the team was able to average 11 runs over the win streak. In their last 2 games, they have only scored 1 run in each contest. In their last game, the solo run was produced by right fielder Reese Armitage. The team undoubtedly faces a lot of adversity as the majority of their schedule has them playing on the road. Hopefully they can grind out some wins as the road games continue. Well, that concludes our sports report for the week. I'm Ben Pierce. Thank you.
UK cancer research recently indicated that 1 in 7 millennials will be obese by the time they hit their middle age. This makes them one of the heaviest generations in history. In fact, the average body weight in the 60s compared to what it was in the 80s and to what it is now shows a significant rise of obesity in the 80s. And that is when the millennial generation was starting to be born. According to the director of the Board of Obesity Medicine, Dr. Kumar, the contributing factors include processed foods, technology, and since life is becoming more and more rapid-paced, millennials are purchasing food out rather than cooking at home.
Chanel fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld died at age 85. The cause of his death is unknown. Lagerfeld was one of the most admired designers of our time, and he has made such a positive impact on the fashion industry. Lagerfeld joined the Chanel team in 1983, and he has been there ever since. Lagerfeld has also worked for other well-known designers in the past, such as Italian designer Fendi and French designer Chloe. Lagerfeld ultimately helped take Chanel's brand to the next level by taking the company from a small brand to an industry leader. Everyone who knew Lagerfeld personally can all agree that he was a creative genius who changed the world of fashion for the better. May he rest in peace.
The Crusader has lost its head. An 800-year-old mummy's head has been stolen at St. Mission's Church in Dublin, Ireland. Many other corpses were vandalized and damaged, including the body of a nun. The church is asking for the responsible to return the head. This is not the first time the situation like this has happened. In 1996, more bodies were damaged and removed from their coffins. However, that time the officers were able to capture the vandals.
This past weekend, the Marist College Theater program at MCTV presented Hello, Dolly. After months of hard work and preparation for opening night, the show was to no surprise a huge success. Every night was completely sold out, and the audience had nothing but great reviews. There will be 3 more plays this semester, and all will be completely student-run. Have you seen the show?
Yes, I have, actually.
I wish I had got the chance.
Yeah, it was really, really well done.
That's what I heard. The students worked so incredibly hard.
They really did, yeah. Just everything to how the actors were portrayed on stage, to the costumes, to the set design was all very well executed.
That's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Well, that's all we have for you this week. I'm Jillian McCarthy.
And I'm Caroline Fiske. Thanks for watching, and good night.